Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Connection.
Good morning, Tennessee Valley, and welcome to another event broadcasting on WWDJL, your gospel explosion station, where we make a connection with Dr. Mark Burns. We got it with Christ in action. Hey, good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
How you doing this morning?
Well, there you sounding good this morning, brother. You sound like you're back, and hey, it's a great day to be alive in the Lord, sharing the good news.
Thank you, Pastor. You know it's the front. I think, but I am just so glad. I got vaccinated yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I went to hell and back. Hey, you said I'm back.
Yes, sir. Well, hey, it's good to hear that. My
Yeah,
wife and I, we've been vaccinated, and
yes,
hey, we
yes.
got to do this together.
That's right, and I'm urging the people out there, Pastor, please get vaccinated. Please get
Yes,
vaccinated.
yes, sir. I lend my voice with yours. Hey, it's about all of us together and taking care of ourselves and taking care of one
Amen.
another.
Amen. You're right, Pastor. You
Yeah.
are so right. And if the people want to see me make a fool out of myself yesterday, they can go to my page, and it'll be an experience that you never forget. You will run out there trying to get vaccinated. But right now, Pastor, we're going to get some good news, Pastor. We're going to get some good news. One form of good news was getting vaccinated. That was the best kind of news that I could have. And the other good news is the good news of Jesus Christ. And this is where you come in. You've been doing this now, man. We're chipping on 26 years, and still going strong. Here he is, Pastor Mark Burns, with Christ in action. And Pastor, you got it.
All right, indeed. Delighted to be sharing the good news this morning. Hey, we're having some lighthearted banter about a very serious and important subject, and that's about our health and the health and well-being of our community, our friends, our families, our children, and we make lighthearted humor about it, but it's so key and so important. And I encourage y'all, whatever you do, do it in faith. And that's what my wife and I decided, that we were going to be vaccinated and do it in faith, not in a lack of faith, but in faith in God, and doing what we saw as available for ourselves, our family, our friends, and the people that we care about. Well, hey, listen, God cares about you. That's the message that we've been bringing for almost 26 years on this Gospel Explosions outreach to the Tennessee Valley and beyond. That in order to save us, in order to save the day, because of love, Jesus Christ put himself in harm's way. Not only did he put himself in harm's way, he allowed himself to be harmed, to be delivered up for our offenses and raised again for our justification, that our faith might continually rest in him. That if he was willing to go to such an extent out of his love for us, then we can trust him in every other thing in life. If he went to the cross, as he said, he went into the grave, as he said, went into hell itself, as he said, but rose again, as he said, and ascended to the right hand of the Father, that we can trust everything else he says, and entrust every part of our lives to him. Well, that's what we teach every day, we might live a rested faith in the Lord Jesus Christ and his finished work on our behalf, that it is more than enough for us, and that accordingly we will live each day in all that we do connected to him, knowing as he said in John chapter 15, verse 5, I'm the vine, my father's the vine dresser. Uh, I, you are the branches. Without me, you can do nothing. That is really, as I've said many times on the broadcast, not an insult or a put down, but it's really a freedom and an encouragement for us to know that he knows we can't do anything without him. He doesn't want us to do anything without him, and we don't have to do anything without him. But we can do all things with him as he strengthens us, as the Apostle Paul states in Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13. That we can endure, we can fight the good fight of faith, live with expectation, and live a life that is empowered by him, that is constantly sowing seed, being seed, spreading seed, and seeing the harvest. Well, I want to share with you as we've been teaching all this month on seeds in various ways. We've brought a message to you this entire month from day to day on seeds. Today we're in Ecclesiastes chapter 11. Yesterday we talked about how stewards, it is a kind of a man that a steward that he be found faithful. And Paul talked about in 1 Corinthians 4 that we should account of him as stewards of the mystery of God, a steward of the mystery of God. What do he mean by that? Simply that God had revealed himself to him and revealed truths to him. And since God had given it to him, he now considered himself a steward of it to faithfully discharge wherever he went to share what God had revealed to him. In fact, in 1 Corinthians 15, he talks about how the grace of God worked in him. And even though he had done things ignorantly out of unbelief, that one day, as he was on the road to Damascus, actually to persecute Christ's followers and to harass them and put them to death, that Christ himself encountered and confronted him that day on the road and brought him the revelation of himself and then began to teach him. Well, and so out of it, he says, because of the grace of God that is upon my life, I labored more abundantly than they all. I labored. See, that's what the grace of God, when you and I truly begin to partake of the amazing grace of God, it doesn't make us, it does not cause us to become unproductive or to not be diligent, but it produces productivity and diligence in us. Well, I'm sitting on Ecclesiastes chapter 11, where it talks about the value of diligence. The preacher, we believe to be Solomon, who wrote this book, Ecclesiastes, says to us in verse 1 of Ecclesiastes 11, cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. Give a serving to 7 and also to 8, for you do not know what evil will be upon the earth. Now, what is he saying to us? He says, cast your bread upon the water. What he's teaching us to do is to live a life of diligently sowing, sowing continually, sowing continually, sowing continually. You know, there's power in that life of applying what you know and using what you have. Those who have this mindset from day to day, I'm going to apply what I know and I'm going to use what I have, are powerful people because they are always solution providers. They're salt, they're light, they're a city set upon a hill because they always see it that God is working a solution in me. God has made me a part of the solution. Some years ago, as I was kind of studying and looking, God brought to me the concept of the Nobel Peace Prize, right? And so I began to ponder and consider it. And he pointed out to me that the Nobel Peace Prize is not given to those who simply identify problems, but those who find solutions, whether it be in science or whether it be in their political life and work, or in literature, or medicine, or whatever it may be. It is those who are on a discovery of sowing seeds and searching to be and provide solutions. So he says to us that we should cast our bread upon the water, knowing that it shall return after many days. In other words, live a life of continually taking what you have and giving and sowing it, knowing that it's a solution. Now, notice what he says. It will return after many days. In other words, he says, send it out, and in time, it will flow back to you. But you got to put something out there. You got to apply what you know and use what you have. And then he says in the second verse, he says, give a portion to 7 and to 8. And what he's saying is divide it up. So in many areas of life, among many places, because you don't know which return ultimately will prevail, and you cover all the bases. I'm going to end with this. I have a personal retirement account that allows me to choose various avenues of investment to protect me and my family long term, to have resources after I retire. And so I diligently look at it to try to spread it among the risky opportunities that will provide a harvest, because in so managing it, I lay a foundation by the grace of God for me and my family beyond the years of my work. Hey, what are you saying to me today? In like fashion, we should be those who are solution seeking and providing every single day, providing through what God has given us for the present and for the future, knowing that God is faithful to make sure it returns back to us as we sow it into his kingdom. We sow it into our own lives, and we sow it into the lives of others and in our community. This has been an outreach of Connected Church. Connect with us, connected-church.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. There you'll find these and other encouraging words to build you up in your faith in God and his love for you, and the identity that you have in him, that together we are the difference that makes the difference that God desires we need and the world needs. And God intends, as we awaken this purpose of knowing him and the love he has for us, mobilized his mission of making him known and sharing his love with others. Hey, women, 10 o'clock today, my wife Ramona is online with Connected Grace. It's a coffee chat where real women talk about real issues and provide real solutions together. 10 o'clock online today. Hey, you want to be there. That's good news on this sanctified Saturday morning.
Amen. Hey, we appreciate that, Pastor, man. A great message this morning. I even learned something in this message that I didn't know.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that you had a retirement account. But hey, we thank God for it anyway. And if it's time to start dealing it out, hey, be sure to take it out before I pay you, okay? And we want you to have a great day. We sure do. And I know that your programs are going to be off the chain. And Lord's willing, we want to be able to talk back at you tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir. Blessings on you and the Gospel Explosion family. Have a great day, Lord willing. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Hey, cast that bread upon the waters. Sow that seed. And do it with diligence. Do it with wisdom, knowing that there is a return. Your solution. You have the solution in hand. It is in applying what you know, and it's in using what you have as God gives the increase. Hey, Connected Grace, 10 o'clock. Ladies, hey, be there. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.